Welcome to a special edition of the RDL show. Here, I'm joined by Sky Guasto tonight and Jonathan Rifkin for all your live reactions to tonight's NFL draft. It's kicking off now over on ESPN for most people. It's been a full day of talking about everything and anything that could happen. And just as any draft day, the rumors started to spiral right around noon. And Aaron Rodgers' name kept getting brought up. And I just heard one. I don't know if it's a rumor or not, but I heard that the Broncos now are as close to getting Aaron Rodgers and a deal done as you can say. They are going to, and it looks like, trade for Aaron Rodgers. And he's going to follow in the footsteps of Peyton Manning, it looks like, and end up in Denver and try for another Super Bowl. How wonderful would it be for John Elway as a front office man, never to draft the right quarterback, but to get two in either free agency or trading that could end up winning him a Super Bowl? What do you guys think about this? The San Francisco deal must have fallen through, and here we are with the possibility of Rodgers heading to Denver.
Great for Denver, bad for San Francisco. That's my comment.
I don't know why. I wonder what this deal is going to look like. I don't know why. Aaron had said that he, as of yesterday, thought he was on his way to San Francisco come draft night, and that derailed in the last few days.
That makes the most sense for so many reasons. From the Bay Area, went to Chico, went to.
Well, I mean, none of that matters where he went.
No, I understand. I understand. Give his career to a Super Bowl contender does make sense. They have a the third overall pick that apparently Green Bay has passed on. So I don't know what Denver has to offer that San Francisco doesn't. They also have Jimmy, and so I'm kind of confused by that move. But great for Denver if they can pull it off.
I'm cool with it. I think that having Aaron Rodgers there, they need to rejuvenate that organization in the Mile High City, I think. They've had moments over the last few years, but I feel like injuries, you had the Philip Lindsay excitement, that sort of died down the quarterback carousel last year. Let Aaron Rodgers provide some stability in Denver. I'm cool with that. I'm sure your boy Benjamin Albright, I don't know if he's tweeted anything lately, Ryan, but I'm sure that he has some interesting thoughts, and we got to get him here on the show in the next week. We'll see what happens today. Today's going to really dictate what happens over the next few weeks in terms of just coverage with all of this. But I really do think that Rodgers in Denver, yes, it's crazy, but it would be a really solid deal for the Broncos.
Well, what do they have to give up to get him? That's the thing. I mean, they don't have that a ton. So, is this one of those things where the difference with Peyton Manning was he was a free agent, didn't cost the Broncos anything. They just had to sign him to a new deal. But we're talking about a situation here where now there's a bunch of who knows what this looks like in terms of, but it's seemingly looking more and more after today's events that Aaron Rodgers' career in Green Bay is essentially over. And the comments that I heard in terms of him saying that, hey, I'm not coming back there. Either you trade me or I'm retiring. Essentially, is what he was saying. He'll go be a Jeopardy coach or Jeopardy. I
saw that one
host,
too.
I guess. Ian Rappaport was all over that today. So. I mean, it's been an interesting day. Rumors are rumors. The biggest conversation about this is how do the San Francisco 49ers look walking away from this? They look like a very dysfunctional organization with a lot of chaos going on. That makes for a problem for me if you're a 49ers fan, if you're somebody that's watching, because you gave up a ton to move to 3 because you thought you had your guy. Then you get to a place and you don't know where you're going. I don't know what to think about San Francisco right now, and they hold a lot of the cards tonight and what they do with their pick at number 3. What do you guys think about what the draft has become? Why are we listening to Kings of Leon right now? I just want to know. out there, everybody. Why are we listening to Kings of Leon
Because
right now
as
for
we
the NFL
talked
draft?
about here in the RDL show, Ryan, the NFL loves to make money. And what better way to make money than to create a gimmick that attracts advertisers that you can make money from, that attracts fans that you can make money from, that attracts marketing partners that you can make money from. Like you said, this is more for the aesthetic than it is for the actual event of a player becoming a part of an NFL organization, right? You talked about it over the course of last week on the show, and that's what this is, right? Kings of Leon comes on. I haven't heard the Kings of Leon song in 7 or 8 years, right? They probably
Did they play Sex on Fire because it's a pandemic? You know, I don't know.
But that's the thing, right? They're not getting the NBA All-Star talent that you see, right? They're getting C quality.
Goodell makes the entrance, guys, and he's walking with a bald man. Oh, that's Joe Thomas. He's from Cleveland, I guess, right? He played for Cleveland for many years. So walking with a bald man. Bernie Kosar and Adam Hawkins. So he's got some Browns history behind him. I'm not listening to the audio of it, so I'm assuming, and his hands are up, he's getting booed like crazy, and well, he should be. I just saw Justin Fields isn't there either, guys. I mean, maybe worried that he was going to drop too far, or he just wanted to spend it with his family. But Justin Fields is not there either. I have him going 3rd overall in my mock draft, and the more and more I listen to guys on the Rich Eisen show when I was hosting today, Chris Sims was on, Tom Pelissero was on. Guy Haberman was on, and they all talked to me about that's not happening. It's either Mac Jones or Trey Lance, and I just how is that possible? How can you go back and watch that national semifinal where he rips apart Clemson and Brent Venables' defense and Trevor Lawrence with 6 touchdowns, and you go, you know what, this guy just doesn't have it. Can't do it. I don't get it at all. But we're about to get it rolling here. Cleveland looks gorgeous this time of year. Overcast, rainy,
It's
everything
like a bigger
that you
stage
want.
for Goodell, right? Doesn't it seem like he's on a bigger stage than normal?
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's a huge stage for more social distancing aspects of things.
Right. Look at great social distancing right there on that fade out, close out to the commercial break.
Well, the fans certainly aren't socially distancing at all. This is Rich Eisen was telling me today about what's the moniker going to be for the first missed opportunity or missed pick, and since they've butted this stage right up against Lake Erie,
Mm-hmm.
The first draft bust we're going to call a mistake by the lake, I guess is what he wanted to call it.
Is the back going to make an appearance tonight?
It certainly will if we get to 5 and Cincinnati does the boneheaded thing and drafts the Ferrari instead of.
Yeah. I think they're going to.
Yes, they are. Of course they are. They're the Cincinnati Bengals. They're gonna mess it up. They're gonna get the Ferrari, right? They're not gonna get the minivan. There was the freaking block engine.
There was a great interview I heard with Carson Palmer this week about how he tried to intentionally tank his pro day so he would avoid getting drafted by Cincinnati.
Well, we said it. I said it the last 3 years. You have so much leverage as the number one or second overall pick as a quarterback. Utilize that. We just haven't seen anybody do it. Eli Manning's the only one who has done it. John Elway in '83, because he had baseball to fall back on. But Eli's the only one who did it, and he had the golden family to be able to back him up. No one else has been willing to take that step, really do that.
Ryan,
everybody here on Twitter who's watching the RDL show, we publicized it as much as we can on Twitter, but this show normally runs on YouTube and runs Monday, Wednesday, Friday between 12:30 and 1:30 Pacific. It's a sports talk show. Jonathan Sky, as well as a fellow cohort of ours, Charlie Moss, joins us. It's a great opportunity. Head over to YouTube, subscribe, be a part of this grassroots show, the Ryan D. Leaf Show, RDL show over at YouTube. We do this with Twitter on special occasions, just because we have a bigger following over here, and we have the ability to reach more fans when we do something like this. There we have the Jags on the clock in their war room. Urban Meyer going through this for the first time. never had a sub 500 season in his life. Better get ready for it. It's going to be sub 500 this year, and probably the year after that. Can he deal with that? The closest he's been is 7-5 at Florida, and all of a sudden he had heart issues come up, and he had to quit. So, we'll see when things get tough. He is a heck of a football coach. He's a heck of a motivator. But we'll see. We'll see. They are about to draft number 1 overall. The number 1 overall pick is going to be Trevor Lawrence, and he is at his home. Well, I don't know if he's at home. I think he's in Clemson with his family and all his friends, his new wife, and I'm assuming his Bitcoin app and Adidas footwear.
How does he grow so much hair? Sorry.
Coolest thing I've ever. Well, he's an Adonis.
It's just that was a thought out loud. Keep going.
He is an Adonis. He is a very pretty young man who's extremely talented. Okay, we'll put it that way. It's sunshine, man. Sunshine.
He is sunshine. Yeah.
Yep, he is, and he has never, ever in the history of his career lost a regular season game. He's about to lose a bunch this year. Okay, get ready for it. He's never. Can you believe that? He's never lost as a starting quarterback a regular season football game.
Unbelievable.
Everybody get over to YouTube. Get over. Push it. Let's go.
What happens?
Subscribe to the RDL show. Be a part of this.
What happens to Gardner Minshew? Quickly, I feel like nobody talks about
I think he'll be I think he'll be their backup. They really like him down there. He's really committed to the weird stash and the long mullet. So I don't know if he fits in anywhere else other than Jacksonville. To be honest with you,
I agree.
So we'll see how that plays. I mean, he's committed. He's gone full commitment there to Noodling, and he's an Alabama boy. He kind of went with what he was given, and he's 36 touchdowns, 11 interceptions in his career, guys. That's it.
So Ryan, quick question
amazing.
here. They got the Jags. You got the Jags with 7 minutes left or so. They're clearly burning time, publicity, whatever. What is actually happening behind the scenes right now with Trevor Lawrence, with the team? Hugs, congratulations. Like, what's actually happening right now with the Jags burning the clock?
Nothing. They're just using the 15 minutes for the free publicity. Yeah, this deal was signed, I heard, almost a month ago. He's been a Jaguar for almost a month. So really the only team that's been on the clock is Zach Wilson and the Jets. And if they have signed him already, which could have happened, both of these picks could have been signed already. The 49ers are truly on the clock themselves right now. Nothing will happen right now. This is just all bluster. Same thing happened with me. Wasn't like San Diego didn't know they were drafting me, but they take the 15 minutes. They allow for free advertising on a national telecast with millions of eyes on it, talking about their organization. The Jaguars will have all of that for the next 6 minutes. I cannot believe that Trevor Lawrence outraced that whole Ohio State defense on that quarterback draw in the semifinal 2 years ago, man. It was so impressive. That's his new wife, Marissa, who's sitting next to him and his family there. I had the honor of meeting her and some of Trevor's family when I was there in Clemson speaking to the team a couple years ago. Just a great young man. He's going to be a perfect example. He's a type of guy that can change the environment wherever you go. There are quarterbacks that go and they're great, but they fit in place and they never really change anything. And there are quarterbacks that you drop in a vat of hot water and they change the environment, right? They don't become hard. They don't become soft. They change the environment. It becomes what they will, similar to what Peyton Manning did in Indianapolis. And I think Trevor's that kind of guy because he's going to have to be. There's never been a Hall of Famer ever in the history of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's going to have to be the first. And to do that, he's going to have to play incredibly well and will this team to playoffs, division titles, and hopefully the Super Bowl. We'll see. If that's the case, if Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence can hitch their wagons to one another, wow, what a legacy-building adventure for both of these guys. With the history that Urban Meyer has in college as well as Trevor Lawrence, to do it at the next level together, I mean, that would be some legacy-defining stuff for the coach and the player.
Not only has Jacksonville never had a Hall of Famer, they've only had two of their quarterbacks be Pro Bowlers. Mark Brunell 3 times and David Garrard in 2009. So they've had a tough time at the position regardless.
And the only time they went to the AFC Championship was with Blake Bortles. So,
Right.
they are in a position where they need to be able to get back there. The moment they did, they dismantled the defense, which was the reason why they were there. So they have not made great personnel moves. They have been in a division where they would be thought to compete and haven't, and they won't in the foreseeable future with Indianapolis and Tennessee continuing what they do. We didn't think they were going to be a threat with the Houston Texans either because of Deshaun Watson and his abilities in his first few years in the league. Now with everything that's up in the air there and them being one of the most dysfunctional teams in all of college football or all of pro football, they may have slid into the third spot already because that division is just so bad at the bottom. There's some wide open receivers running down the field.
Yeah.
When he's throwing the football, I tell you that much.
The Jets are angsty on Twitter. They tweeted that the Jacksonville Jaguars need to hurry up.
Who said that?
The Jets on Twitter.
Yeah, well, the Jets just want to get to their guy as soon as they can. Unfortunately, people, tonight will be the last night you hear of Zach Wilson. It's unfortunate.
Oh, they're gonna Taj Boyd him. They're literally gonna Taj Boyd him.
It will be the last time you really hear about him in the most positive sense. Same thing for Sam Darnold. The next best night for Sam Darnold was the night that he got traded to Carolina. It was the night he was drafted and the night he got traded to Carolina. That's what happens when you go to the Jets, people. So,
I got a question, Ryan.
I'm sorry. All right, Larry, here's a question for the night. Will the Jaguars be a 500 team this regular season? I just told everybody a little earlier, this will be the first year that Urban Meyer doesn't have a 500 winning percentage as a head coach. He's never been below 500. And Trevor Lawrence has never, ever, not even in high school, lost a regular season football game. He's about to lose at least 9 this year, even more. So it's going to be a tough year. Don't forget one of the best to ever play the game is Peyton Manning. He threw more interceptions than anybody his rookie year. They went 3-13. I went 3-6 my rookie year. So if you looked at comparisons in terms of wins and losses, Peyton Manning and I had the same, and I had fewer losses, right? I mean,
Troy Aikman had a horrendous rookie season too.
I think he was 1-11, right? If I recall correctly.
Yeah.
So, you have to be able to deal with failure. I think Trevor can, even though, guess what? He hasn't necessarily had to. The last 2 years, very disappointing losses in the national championship and the national semifinal where he didn't play his best football. The offense looked mismatched in those games. They really, really did. So he's had to overcome that. ESPN showing his affinity for Peyton Manning. It's the reason why he wore number 16 as Peyton wore it in college. He really loved Peyton Manning and went to his camp every year and wanted to be just like him. And now he has the opportunity to be take another step in that direction and be the first overall pick, just like his hero, Peyton Manning, who went number 1 overall in 1998. All right, pick is in, everybody. I know that if you're watching, it may be a little lapsed because I'm watching it on my streaming service and we're reacting from my television since I'm the host and I decide. All right, I decide when we celebrate and I decide when we get upset. That's what we do. All right,
benevolent dictatorship.
It is. It's something we have to live with. 25 minutes in, here we are. Who do you think it's going to be, people? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say they stun everybody, and Justin Fields is the call.
Najee Harris.
Kellen Mond would flip in. Oh, you have Najee Harris. That's a good one. I mean, Elijah Moore has some whispers at number 1. I was hearing.
I have Elijah Moore going to. I did have Elijah Moore going to the Green Bay Packers at 29.
I saw on your draft. That's a good pick.
Here we go. It's good to hear that sound again.
Here we go. Boo. You know what would have been funny is if Trevor said he wasn't going to allow cameras in his house and sold $5 subscriptions to YouTube to watch him be drafted first overall.
He should have done it on OnlyFans.
Yep.
Streaming service.
Tell me if
future.
Trevor Lawrence drafted number 1 overall, the quarterback out of Clemson, out of Georgia. Oh, look at that. New wife.
That's probably his
Grams.
house, honestly.
Yeah, reports were that he was
house.
having 60-ish people at his house, Ryan. How's that for a gathering?
That's like his house, though, not his parents. That's his house.
60 people.
I doubt that's his house.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Not yet.
He doesn't have a house.
You don't know.
There's a jersey. Looks good.
Contract could have been signed.
Oh, they got his number on there already, too. That's fly.
On the jersey?
Yeah.
Is he going to wear 16?
It's not the one. It's the traditional one. You know, they usually have the number 1 with the team name on it. He's got the 16. Lawrence, Jacksonville. Looks good.
He's going to wear 16 in the league. All right.
Man, I'm really excited to see this kid in action.
All right, now we move on to the Jets. All right, we knew that was going to happen. We most likely know what's going to happen with the Jets. They are on the clock themselves. Go back to the Jets-Panthers trade a little while back. The Jets get a 2021 6th-round pick, a 2022 second and 4th-round pick, and the Carolina Panthers get Sam Darnold in exchange. That allows for the Jets to then openly covet and go after the BYU quarterback, Zach Wilson. 11 yards in the attempt last year. That's one of the best stats you can have for a quarterback, I do believe. But I was talking to Rich Eisen today, who is a diehard New York Jets fan, and he said, if I would have told all our Jets fans and all my Jets brothers out there that a year ago you are going to be 2nd overall drafting, and you're going to draft a guy from BYU named Zach Wilson, they would have been up in arms. No one knew who the hell he was, what it was about. What Zach Wilson went out and did is played 13 games against mediocre to less competition. And in the one game where he went up against a team that was really good this year in Coastal Carolina, he got beat. He looked average, okay? In all those big-time Power 5 games against the Pac-12, because BYU plays the Pac-12 a ton, take a look at the BYU UW game from 2 years ago, Jacob Eason versus Zach Wilson, and you'll see who the pro quarterback looks like in that game. And it certainly didn't look like Zach Wilson. It was Jacob Eason. But what he was able to do a year ago, the improvement he made, that kind of jump, imagine what that could look like this offseason heading into the season with the Jets. Unfortunately, it's the Jets. Systemically, they are as terrible as you can imagine. It's a place where quarterbacks go to die. Years and years ago, Mark Sanchez was Zach Wilson. He was the pretty boy who was going to fit in perfect with the swagger coming from USC. What does he do? He goes and leads the team to 2 consecutive AFC championships. The only thing he's remembered for in New York, though, because of the dysfunction, is the butt fumble. And it's absurd. Yeah. It's not the truth. Same thing happened with Sam Darnold. Never heard from him again. Royals as a lame duck, and then bring in Adam Gase and those crazy eyes, hypnotized him into being somebody we didn't recognize. He was the number 1 quarterback in the draft a year ago. I really believe it. All right. The jump that Zach Wilson made, very reminiscent of the jump I made. Our stats from this year and my last year, very similar. I threw for about 3,900 yards. He threw for 34. He had 33 touchdowns. I had 34 touchdowns. He only threw 3 picks, though. That's really impressive. I threw 10. So it shows you can make that jump and have the talent. It depends on where you go. And like I said, unfortunately, for Zach Wilson, it may be the best night of his professional career because he's going to be a New York Jet, and it's going to be a long, cold winter because nothing's changed. You can't just keep replacing coaches and quarterbacks when you don't have the weapons. Ever. You don't ever have the weapons. What's different than when they went and drafted Sam Darnold 4 years ago? What's different? Nothing.
Coaching?
Nothing's different.
Coaching?
No, they just added a new coach. When Sam Darnold,
Yeah, but I think that the set of coaches is different.
You like to say that. You like to say that, but they thought that about Todd Royals when he got the job. They thought it was Robert Saleh.
Yeah.
This is systemic. This happens over and over and over, and every year it happens. So nothing's really changed. I believe in Robert Saleh too. I really do. I really think he could be a great head coach. Unfortunately, it's with the Jets. The Jets haven't been any good. You know, the Jets pick is in. Remember, we're watching it on my TV, Sky, not yours. So when you see something, it may be further ahead than me. And we're not doing that tonight, are we? Dictatorship in quick. All right.
Quick question, Dictator. Quick question. Is there any chance Zach Wilson doesn't go here?
Yes, there's always a chance. There's always a chance. Just ask Lloyd Christmas. All right.
Fair enough.
Always a chance. All right.
Inside source, Lloyd Christmas. I like that. Good reference.
You know, I would think that the only option here is to hear Justin Fields' name, just because. You know, in a lot of circles, and in particular in mine, I think he's the number 2 overall quarterback in this year's draft.
I agree.
But no, I believe it's going to be Zach Wilson, and then the real drama starts. That's the place we get to, and that's where the real drama starts. And your 49ers, who look like a dysfunctional mess right now, will then make a pick.
I'm sweating.
Bullets?
No, I'm sweating bomb banana hot sauce right now.
That's got to be disgusting. Okay, so it's a great hot sauce, everybody.
Delicious.
I mean, sweating it, but you know,
perfect.
That might be disgusting. Okay, here we go. Jets. Who's going to make the pick? Mr. Goodell walks to the stage, and there is a Jets fan in a brown chair. I don't know who that is.
Chair. I feel like the brown chair doesn't fit. It should be something more modern, like a ergonomically correct chair.
I don't know. The commissioner looks ever bit more smug tonight than normal. With the second overall pick, the New York Jets select Zach Wilson, quarterback, BYU. So, no intrigue here. Everything is planned. Your guys' reaction, same as it's been, for the last 2 months, because we knew what it was going to be?
Yeah, big concern. Obviously, you mentioned all the other things. They were 30th, 31st, or 32nd in every major offensive category last year, from yards per game to points per game to rushing to passing to blocking. They got a lot of work to do in New York.
That's a lot. Oh, don't touch people, Zach. That's not a good start. All right. You don't know where those hands have been. Wouldn't be crazy.
Man, he's got a good throw though. I really like Zach Wilson, the player. The situation I'm not crazy about, but Zach Wilson in general.
You know what? That's the thing. All the quarterbacks that don't pan out at the top of the draft they're all amazing quarterbacks. Otherwise, they're not drafted at the top of the draft.
Yeah.
It's 90% of where you go. There's a reason why the Cleveland Browns and the Jets and these teams are always drafting at the top and replacing quarterbacks, because they're the problem. The player is not the problem. Now, the behavior of the player ultimately can be. Like Dwayne Haskins, his behavior became the problem. But Washington was a bad team. I mean, they weren't a great team. I mean, they won the division this year at 7-9. It's not like, they're world beaters out there. I think Ron Rivera is going to make a big difference with that organization. But these players are great football players. They wouldn't be being drafted this high. And it's where you go is a huge part of this. And good for Zach being the second overall pick. There are not many of us that exist out there. How many drafts have there been in the history of the NFL?
I looked it up. 1934, I think, was the first one. 36, maybe. I'll look it up again.
So 84 or 85 years. So there's 85 of us ever. It's a pretty small number. Welcome to the club, Zach. Hope it turns out better for you.
1936.
Reddit College Football tweets, Zach Wilson gives Roger Goodell his first embrace in 2 years, and he's soaking it all in. Good for Roger, finally getting a hug.
Yeah. I would probably need him in the nuts and said, "This is my show, bitch." Who knows? Who knows how this goes? I think that would be funny. Or like just flip him around and give him a huge wedgie in front of the entire nation. Everybody'd love that. They boo his ass. Who cares, right?
Hey,
Yeah.
Ryan, I got one for you here. We'll just throw out the next. I think it'll be fun. Third BYU quarterback selected in the common draft era since 1967. Who are the other two? First round, excuse me. Selected in the first round, BYU quarterbacks, 3 of them in the first round since 1967.
Can I say Steve Young and Steve went to the USFL, so Ty Detmer.
I gotta look it up because I'm not listening either. I just see it on the screen. I think it's cool.
Ty Detmer, Jim McMahon, and now Zach Wilson, maybe. It's the only thing I can think of.
I'm cool with that order.
That looks like a large, blonde Mormon family. It really does. That's good. Oh, here we are. Jets happy. Joe Douglas makes his first real pick at the quarterback position. Jets first-round quarterbacks in history. Joe Namath, first overall. Richard Todd, 6th in 76. Then Ken O'Brien, part of that big quarterback class in 1983. The reason why they put that and look at it as a mistake, Dan Marino followed with the Miami Dolphins. He could have been a Jet, and he tortured them for years. Pennington, 18th overall in 2000. 2009. 2009 was Geno Smith. Is that right?
Sounds right.
2009?
Okay.
That's a long time ago.
That
It feels
seems early. That seems early.
Okay. Well, anyway, and then Mark Sanchez, Sam Darnold, Geno Smith was in that as well, and now Zach Wilson. 49ers Dolphins trade, okay? 49ers on the clock, about 3.5 minutes left. The 49ers gave up a lot. What are they going to do? Oh, they're just clapping now. They're clapping in the war room, which means
pick is coming in. Trey Lance.
We've made our pick.
that means they just traded for Aaron Rodgers or what?
Oh, well, no, that's not happening. That flew out the door pretty recently, and here we're at. So Mel Kiper pontificating about how Mac Jones is the guy. I don't know. I had Chris Sims on the show today, and he talked about it. You know, he fits exactly what the Shanahan family loves to do with the quarterback position. He couldn't. When he was up in Washington after his stint in Houston, the writer talked to him about, your offense is amazing. The numbers you're putting up. And he said, because the quarterback is so good. He's like, no, but I mean, you're amazing. And he looked the guy right back in the eye. He's talking about Matt Schaub. He's like, because the quarterback is so freaking good. He really believed that about Matt Schaub. Led the league in passing. Matt Ryan type, Kirk Cousins, and now Mac Jones fits that type of player. And if you're going to sell this to your fan base, once this draft happens, if this is the thing that happens and it's Mac Jones at 3, the headline tomorrow from the San Francisco 49ers should be, "We just drafted Drew Brees." That's what the quote should be. And that's what the fan base should believe is, and then they have to believe in Kyle Shanahan. Because essentially Kyle has, in his mind, become a kingmaker because they could have gotten Mac Jones at 12. I believe they could have. Chris Sims had other thoughts. He heard other teams were trying to move up higher in the round to get him, and they simply just jumped ahead of them all to 3 to make sure they got him. I think they could have got him at 12, but they look like they're going to get their man here at 3. Pick is in, everybody, and this is what all the drama's been about. This is what all the drama's been about, all right?
The next pick also. This is 3 and 4, man.
Yeah, 3 and 4 is going to say a lot about what this draft does in terms of dominoes. All right, we got a few minutes here left before, a few seconds maybe. Where do they go? Trey Lance is the betting favorite in Vegas today. Is it Trey Lance? Is it Mac Jones? Do they trade for a veteran quarterback somewhere else, like Blockbuster and Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers? What happens?
Penei Sewell.
If they're drafting Penei Sewell, that means they traded for Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly.
Because they're drafting for somebody else. That'd be somebody else's draft pick, is what it would be. He wouldn't be going to San Francisco. He'd be going to probably the Green Bay Packers. That's why this pick is so important for everybody. If it's somebody completely out of the realm of possibility, it's most likely because they made a trade with the Green Bay Packers and that can't go through till after June 1st because of the cap hit that Aaron Rodgers would decimate the Green Bay Packers for this year. Here we go. Taking the stage, the commissioner who's going to read off who the 49ers. You guys are going to know before I do. I don't want any facial expressions or any. All right. Are they booing him?
Oh, man.
Who knows? Dun, dun, dun. Okay, I got some. Trey Lance,
Let's
North
go.
Dakota State.
Let's
so all
go.
you Vegas, third overall. Wow.
Go.
I'm literally.
That means Mac Jones is going to drop into the teens probably at this point. He'll probably drop
If the
15
Patriots don't move up, I have them at 15.
15.
That's where I have him.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody knows, and sorry, I haven't spoken like 20 minutes because I've been nervous for 6 months on this thing. I've wanted Justin Fields this entire time. We've talked about it. Not I'm on this move as well.
I don't know, guys.
I like the potential a lot. I do worry.
318 career passing attempts. We don't know what we don't know what we don't know. This is a huge reach by the San Francisco 49ers, in my opinion. Could be one that absolutely pays off, but it also could be something that blows up in their face a lot.
Okay, so we've all agreed for weeks that Justin Fields was our number 2. 3 quarterbacks have gone. Justin Fields hasn't gone yet. Ryan, where do you think he goes now?
Somebody could be calling to trade with the Falcons right here. It could be the Falcons as well. If not, I don't know. I don't know how far he could fall. And Chris Sims' mock draft, he falls all the way to 32 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Could the Broncos draft him and send him to Green Bay for Rodgers?
Would they? If that were to happen,
they have to have no faith in Jordan Love then, and accept that they messed that up. Because if they're trading away Aaron Rodgers, they have to think that it's Jordan Love time. That's the only thing I can imagine.
I got my good buddy
Justin Fields.
What's that?
Guy.
No, it's okay. I have a good buddy of mine in North Dakota. He's he went to North Dakota State. He just texted me and congratulations. 5th youngest quarterback selected in draft history, 20 years old.
Crazy. How about BYU and North Dakota State getting number 2 and 3 picks in that?
Yeah, right.
And people knew about Trey Lance a year ago, but people didn't really know too much about Zach Wilson. This one for me is a little bit hard to stomach because I don't know if they actually, when they made this trade, were set on Trey Lance, and that makes me really question. And that makes me really question them as an organization. If they did not know who they were moving up to get, that for me makes a little bit of a fearful. It was almost responsive or impulsive in nature in what they were doing, and giving up as much as they did. They better have gotten this right. Though, unless Jimmy Garoppolo is no longer a 49er by tomorrow, which is a very real possibility. Some think he's going to be back in New England for some reason. Away we go. And it's the Trey Lance show. Or he sits back and sits behind Jimmy Garoppolo and learns for a couple of years. I think that would be best. You'd hate to throw this guy into the mix so quickly with only 318 passing attempts in his college career against FCS opponents. We'll see. The Atlanta Falcons are up next at 4. And these were the draft picks that we were thinking about. We were talking about, right? We were wondering whether or not the quarterbacks would go in the way they did. And this now puts Mac Jones and Justin Fields, both guys who now could fall, pretty significantly. I have Mac Jones going to the New England Patriots at 15. And then I had Trey Lance going to Washington at 19, which easily could be Justin Fields now. Justin Fields could be the guy now at 19 to the Washington football team. We'll wait and see
Well, they'll get one of the two, Mac Jones or Justin Fields, we would assume at that pick, right? At this point.
Say that again.
Washington football team should be a lock for one of the two of Mac Jones or Justin Fields at this point, right?
Unless something else happens, unless the team moves up, to do something. If right now, I don't know. I mean, Atlanta could make the first move here to push back and go back a little bit further and have a team come up. If someone feels like they want Justin Fields, they could do it. But I think they know they probably can get him now later in the draft. Here we go. QB selected 1, 2, and 3 in the same class. 1971, Jim Plunkett, Archie Manning, and Dan Pastorini. For the Patriots, Saints, and Oilers. And, of course, in 1999, Tim Couch, Donovan McNabb, and Akili Smith. Donovan McNabb, of course, was the only one booed from the fan bases out of those three quarterbacks and was the only one to take teams to championship games for 4 consecutive years and a Super Bowl. Third time in the history that 3 quarterbacks have been taken with the first 3 picks. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and Trey Lance. Good opportunity to celebrate if you are our boy Ron is watching tonight. I love it. Ron is a great guy. If you're watching still, Ron is a law enforcement officer up in upstate New York. And it was so funny, right? I get off the plane, and there are these, usually when I got off planes in the past and police were there to pick me up, it was, to take me to jail. These guys were there to escort me through the town and be part of their community events. We've stayed in touch for years. He's a huge Atlanta Falcons fan. I'm telling you right now, Ron, Matt Ryan is going to excel like crazy in Arthur Smith's offense, and they need to go and get Pitts. They add another weapon like that. Wow, it's going to be special because they're most likely going to have to eject one of those receivers because of cap issues either this year or next year, and they need a big-time player. So if you guys are celebrating tonight, how about a little Athletic Brew, huh? Sponsor of ours, non-alcoholic Athletic Brew beer. This is Upside Down, a little light beer. If you like the great taste and not the consequences that come with it, try Athletic Brew. Go to athleticbrew.com. There's the link on our bio, and receive free shipping for 2 6-packs and up. All right. Falcons, here we go. Pick is in. I'm thinking they're going to go with Kyle Pitts.
I agree.
Tight end, hybrid player that can help and give defenses a bunch of problems. Here we go. Kyle Pitts, tight end, Florida.
Oof.
There we go.
Oof.
Look at his suit.
They're nasty.
It looks like the one that Trey Lance should be wearing.
Trey Lance should have been wearing, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. This is gonna be Jamar Chase.
Stop.
Oh, it is. It is going to be Jamar Chase.
Oh.
But it's absolutely an asinine thing to do. All right.
Kyle Pitts in that offense.
You guys do know if they take Jamar Chase here with the 5th pick, we're going to shut the show down because I can't do it anymore.
We in good faith cannot.
We in good faith cannot continue with the show that enables behavior like the Cincinnati Bengals are about to exhibit. We're just not.
Oh man.
Here's a good question. If
Lance
doesn't work out, does that put Kyle Shanahan's job in danger? Yes. Both his and John Lynch's jobs.
Yeah. Because
they moved heaven and earth to get to this spot and take a guy who they thought would replace a quarterback that took them to a Super Bowl only 2 years previous. All right. So
I agree.
There you go. We're in the big leagues right now. How far will Justin Fields and Mac Jones drop? We've talked about that. I think 15 and 19. I think that's where they go. I think they go 15 to New England and 19 to the Washington football team. And then we're talking about the next list of quarterbacks: Kyle Trask, Kellen Mond, Davis Mills, Ian Book, Jamie Newman, those types of guys. I went out on a limb. I talked to some friends, some people who are in the know. Atlanta is at 35. They just took the tight end. They still want a quarterback at some point to replace him, and in their minds, they could sneak up to number 32. The only question is will Tampa actually trade with them? They're a divisional rival. Will they trade and allow the Atlanta Falcons to jump up there? Because, the Bucks could easily take Davis Mills themselves at 32 and have him be, the quarterback in waiting for Tom Brady. But who knows? Tom Brady's a cyborg. He can play for 10 more years. We don't know. We have no idea. He could win 5 more Super Bowls. He could retire with 12 Super Bowls. Who knows? The guy's a freak. He wasn't even supposed to be drafted, let alone go on and win 7 Super Bowls playing 10, right? That's just not something that we thought. All right. Bengals are on the clock.
How much say did Burrow get in this pick, Ryan? Seriously, like if they pick Chase, did he actually get a say in this pick?
I would say absolutely.
Well, if they do pick him, yes, I believe he definitely had a say in it. We just heard quarterbacks clamoring and Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson about how their voice isn't being heard. I don't think for a moment that Cincinnati is listening to their quarterback either. They've never listened to anybody but themselves. The Brown family have done things how they wanted, whenever they wanted, and in their own way. So if they want to get the shiny Ferrari and not the kind of beat up minivan with a block engine, that's up to them. Let's put it this way, and I've said it. I've used this line over and over. You can either have Joe Burrow thrown to Auden Tate and T. Higgins, or you can have Brandon Allen thrown to Jamar Chase, because that's what's going to happen. Your quarterback's going to get his ass beat, and he's going to break another leg or his knee or whatever, and he's not going to be your quarterback. Protect him with the best offensive lineman in the draft this year, Penei Sewell out of Oregon, and all your dreams may be realized. Instead, you will go into the depths of desperation and irrelevancy once again, Bengals fans. All right?
Brutal. Does Chicago trade up to take a quarterback now that we have 2 options?
They could. Where are they at, 20?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got to look at a team like
Carolina.
I don't know. Maybe if Carolina can get a corner they want. There's a couple great corners. Caleb Farley, Newsome, Surtain, and Horn are all guys that you could probably get. Maybe if you jump back. We'll see. The Cowboys at 10. They want Patrick Surtain, but I have a sinking feeling that the Carolina Panthers are going to snatch him up at 8. And if that's the case, the Cowboys will have to settle. And I shouldn't say settle. J.C. Horn is a pretty special corner out of South Carolina, but I think their eyes were really on Patrick Surtain, setting him up with his peer and colleague from Alabama in Diggs next year in that defensive backfield for the Cowboys. We'll see. But right now, this all my faith in humanity is really resting on whether the Cincinnati Bengals do the right thing right here. Good thing this is non-alcoholic, guys. I tell you what.
I'm glad that the faith in humanity relies upon what the Bengals do, because there's not a lot of hope then.
No, there's not a lot of hope. Yeah. And here we are. The pick is in.
Oh man!
All right, Ryan. Final answer. Who do you think they go with? I do think they go Jamar Chase.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, this is a no-brainer. It's flat out already done.
Oh man! I will not blaspheme, and will.
All right, folks. We got 30 more seconds of the show. I hope you're subscribed, and we'll catch you tomorrow.
I'm hosting Rich Eisen tomorrow, so the boys are going to be.
All right.
I'm popping on. I'll be popping on for a segment to discuss, but the boys are going to have a full plethora of reactions to the rest of the first round.
We got you, Coach.
Sky's going to have his Trey Lance jersey already to go.
I got 45 minutes of Lance ready to go already. So,
is he going to wear 5? You think?
Let's see. Jeff Garcia. He could.
I wore 5 in Seattle because I was a Jalen Rose fan. That's why I wore it.
Ooh,
he's not wearing 16 or 8. I think everything else is available.
Did you guys know Joe Montana was a 3rd-round pick?
Absolutely.
I found that out today. I probably should have known that, but I found that out today. Interesting.
He turned out pretty good.
Yeah, he's all right.
He's all right.
Yeah.
He won a couple games.
Kid wouldn't
Until
say
Tom
that.
Brady showed up, he was Tom Brady.
Yeah, he never lost a Super Bowl.
That's true. Count that. Biggest
Yeah.
blowout in history, too.
Oh, was that
Super Bowl.
what dome was that in?
55-10, that was in Detroit.
It was in Detroit.
Wait.
It was against the Broncos. I know that.
It was against the Broncos. I might be wrong. Detroit was the Bengals. I'll have to hit the archives here in a second.
And Miami was when they beat the Bengals, I thought. The second time.
Man, this pick's been in for like 10 minutes. Am I lagged behind here or what?
No, it's just commercials, man. Got to get in those
Here it is.
spots.
They're saying about the offensive line. 29th in pass block win percentage. Quarterback Joe Burrow sacked 32 times in the first 10 games.
Oof.
Everything leads you to believe that they need to take an offensive lineman and do the right thing. All right.
Big Panay.
My faith in humanity is about to be restored or absolutely crushed, and I'm going to go to bed and eat a bunch of ice cream. I think.
Hey,
maybe.
I'm throwing this out there before the pick.
What's that?
My sources tell me that Jamar Chase is wearing orange shoes at the draft tonight. So I want to say that.
Stop.
Orange shoes at the draft.
Look at this guy in the chair. Look at his hat. Is that representative of Bengal fans?
Last 2 seasons, the Bengals 6-25-1 worst NFL record during that time.
Welcome to the jungle, everybody.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Roger looks a little melancholic walking to the stage.
What do we got, Roger Dodger? With the 5th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Jamar Chase.
All right, folks,
LSU
we'll catch you
wide
tomorrow.
receiver.
Subscribe
All
on
right.
YouTube. Have a great night.
Hey, my accuracy is crushing it tonight, though, so far.
Get the bat and smash the computer.
Here, Ryan, I got one. There you go. I'll double bat it for you.
Double bats.
I got you. Hey, okay, Jonathan, though. Penei Sewell to Miami's a lock, right?
Yeah, he's got to be, which I'm cool with. I don't get me wrong. I'm not the biggest Tua fan, but I'm a huge Penei Sewell fan, and I actually do like that offense. And they're going to get a wide receiver or a running back in Najee Harris later on in the draft.
Well, I already told you that on. I tried to tell you that on Wednesday.
If the Dolphins draft Penei Sewell, they're drafting a running back because they're going to want somebody.
Miles Gaskin is absolutely fine enough for the Miami Dolphins.
Miles Gaskin blew a gasket last year, Ryan.
He did not.
No, I was just saying it for the lingo.
Yeah, he was as good as anybody. He's like a little bowling ball, man. He'll freaking get you in the end zone. He don't need.
Hey, C.J. Anderson.
Oh, Bengals playing fantasy football over here, Ryan.
Gosh darn it. Well, I don't know what to tell you guys.
I've been mocking this. I've been mocking this way for quite a while. And they're going to have to – they're obviously – well, not obviously. They're the Bengals. But they do have 2 or 3 quality left tackles. Now, the 5th or 6th ranked left tackle, but top 5 left tackle still available probably in the 2nd round. If that pans out, an A- left tackle.
That's what they're going to do. I hate that the Bengals have now continued to perpetuate the idea that wide receivers are meaningful in the NFL draft. I mean, it's a problem. Thank you, Dodge. Poor Joe Burrow's other ACL. You guys want to watch Brandon Allen throw to Jamar Chase? Cool. You just got it. All right. Enjoy. Hope Joe Burrow is healthy this season.
Nobody is happy with this pick in my realm of the world. I'm getting Oregon fans. Chase over Penei? Shocking. I don't get why they're all so surprised.
Hey,
Dolphins,
so well,
before we get out of here, I do want to see what the Dolphins do because I really think that they can restore my faith in humanity.
Come on, Dolphins.
After getting rid of Trey Flowers, they now could add Penei Sewell, which would be a huge replacement in my opinion, and really set Tua up. And you're right. I think they will be able to get a wide receiver at 18. Please don't take a running back. Please, nobody in the first round take a running back. Don't perpetuate the lie. All right. Don't perpetuate the lie. Running backs are people too. Yeah, I get it, but they're not draftable first round players or people. Okay, so let's remember that.
Ryan, we're all team Penei Sewell here. Any chance Rashawn Slater or anybody else goes to the Dolphins though?
Definitely. I mean, if people made a big thing about his arm length, which is terribly stupid, but it easily could. If a team is like locked in, like, hey, we go by these measurables. It's just what it is. And Rashawn Slater has better measurables, and we think he's a beast. And if there is a certain amount of space between them in terms of closeness, we're willing to side on the side with the bigger wingspan. Who knows? Yeah, we don't know. We believe that Penei Sewell is the best in the business, and Jonathan and I doing all our Pac-12 stuff. We've covered him much more closer than we did with Rashawn Slater out of Northwestern. So we just have a better feel for him, and of course there's a bias to that. I understand that because of what we've seen and what he's accomplished. But I can't imagine he slides too much further before he is snapped up. Cincinnati, it's cool. You got some cool cars in the garage. The house is falling apart around you. You live in Ohio. It's Cincinnati. It's kind of pretty much northern Kentucky if you really think about it. So come on, get the position you needed to make a difference in this draft. This bat is for you, Cincinnati. It's for you. All right.
My friend just texted me and goes, "Oh, but they signed a tackle in the offseason." Okay.
Well, they're not going to pick up Billy Price hasn't worked out. He's been injured, so they're not going to pick up his fifth-year option. He's a first-rounder too, so they've had trouble anyway.
Hey, man. I mean, these
right.
two had
Come on, get Penei Sewell so we can stay on the air. I'm having fun. Let's go Penei Sewell so we can stay alive. Let's go.
These two have been There's nothing that can resurrect that, man. We've been on for an hour and we've done 5 picks. That's where we're at. You guys are too young. I'm old. I've been on the radio since frickin' 7 a.m. this morning, guys. I better save my voice at some point. What I do have coming tonight? It's a little me time, okay? I have a little me time tonight. My masseuse is coming tonight.
Nice.
All right? Yeah, she's going to wreck this body is what she's going to do. And so I can just melt into my bed tonight and not be able to walk until tomorrow morning. The bat is a representative of all the defenses who will play Burrow next year.
Joe Smash is crushing it right now. Joe Smash, welcome into the broadcast. Good chatter.
It did give delusional Charger fans. They watch for a trade here with Detroit. Watch for a trade here with Carolina. The Chargers.
I think Detroit is still in line for. Detroit might be in line for Justin Fields too.
Oh,
here we go.
Please no.
I've come to like the Dolphins blue. I never really liked that aqua blue growing up.
Isn't it more teal?
I guess it's teal. I guess you're right.
All right. Who do you guys think? You going with Penei, or you think they go Devontae Smith?
I think they go with a wide receiver. I don't know, Waddle or Smith.
Oh, man.
Jalen Waddle. Now we're going off the air.
Sorry, folks. I tried to keep us live, but it's not up to me. It's not up to me. So Dolphins, Bengals.
The two Alabama wide receivers hug. Jalen Waddle, injured
Dolphins
last year.
Dolphins and Bengals get my back.
An unbelievable speedster will reunite with Tua Tagovailoa. There they are.
So Ryan,
how far does Devontae fall now?
Yeah. So serious. I think he goes probably the Giants or the Eagles.
I think he goes to the Lions.
Okay, serious. I know we want offensive linemen. I agree with you. Are these moves though? These burner Ferraris, if you want to call them that, is that just straight up the new NFL and it's about putting points on the board and the flash? And I mean, like, what is the explanation behind this? Because the Dolphins do have weapons. They brought in Will Fuller. The Bengals have weapons. They need offensive line help. Like, what is the actual reasoning for this?
I have no idea. I think it's asinine and stupid. I think the general managers. I tell you right now, if you're owners out there and you're liking this, when your team is middle of the road next year, a la Minnesota Vikings and Justin Jefferson, all right, when Miami is 8-8 or 8-9, and you're like, oh, But Jalen Waddle had a great year. He led the league in rookie receptions. Good for him, right? You know, your passer looked like shit. You couldn't protect him. That's the problem, okay? Call the RDL show. I'll take the general manager job. I swear, I'll do it. You know, you don't have to pay me that much either. I'll do it on my time off. It's fucking easy, all right? You pick passers, you pick guys who rush the passer, and you pick guys who protect the passer. That's it. It's not a seriously difficult philosophy to think of, but these GMs make it so damn complicated. Why? Why Cincinnati? Why Miami? Why did you do that? Why would you do that to yourselves? All you've done is said and told your fans, okay, so we're going to be about 500 next year or less. Cool. Good for you. You'll be drafted in the same spot.
And then the Tyreek Hill comparison comes up, and everybody's like, "Oh, but he could be." But also, Pat Mahomes is not the quarterback in.
Well, John Ross was Tyreek Hill.
I can put a stop to that immediately. What was Tyreek Hill, and what was Travis Kelce like in the Super Bowl when didn't have a guys to protect Patrick Mahomes? What did they do?
Obsolete. They just didn't.
Nothing. Protect
I have
the
the same.
quarterback.
I have the same question. I had the same question, Ryan. Let's get to Dr. Scott Whalen. Why Waddle over Smith? Is it a size thing? Do you agree with Jalen Waddle in general going before Devonta Smith?
I could have gone either way. I think we did get to see. I think Jalen Waddle was off to the same type of season that Devonta Smith may have had if he doesn't get hurt. We don't know. Devonta was the recipient of a lot of balls that would have gone Jalen Waddle's way. But they worked for each other. They were dynamic as anything, and I expect big things from him. But again, he can have a great big season and break records. It doesn't mean the team's going to be any good because of the addition of him. If you were a player away, okay. Green Bay Packers, I feel, if they keep Aaron Rodgers, are a player away, a slot receiver in the first round. I really do. I think they're that kind of team. But Miami isn't. Miami made a lot of mistakes in the free agent market and a lot of contracts on the defensive side of the football that they made mistakes on. They just got rid of Eric Flowers. They're actually paying the Washington football team like $6 million of his $8 million in salary to get rid of him. So they haven't made great front office moves. Tua, they don't know if that's the right pick. If this all goes down the way it has in year one, it's going to look like they bombed and missed out on Justin Herbert, right? Who knows? That's where we're at right now. And good for him, good for the wide receiver unit that Alabama's continuing to put out there, right? Henry Ruggs was the first wide receiver picked last year from Alabama. Didn't really do too much, in Las Vegas. Had a couple big games. Team was mediocre, middle of the road. It just simply was, right? The wide receivers for the Buccaneers, Mike Evans was a high round draft pick. Chris Godwin was, if I recall correctly, was Chris Godwin a second round or third round draft pick? That's where you go and get that type of wide receiver. Antonio Brown, he was sixth round or something like that, wasn't he?
Western Michigan, yeah.
Yeah. So you can get those players later. This is the foundation building. The round one is foundation building. It is not flash building. It's where you pour the cement and you set things up for the future. That's what the first round is about. And what does that in the NFL these days, and I can't say it enough, and we talk about it all the time, it is simply about the passer, the pass protector, and the guy that rushes the passer. Yeah. That's what changes things. And now it wouldn't surprise me at all because Detroit is in need. They're in need of a lot of things, but they're in need of a wide receiver. They lost Kenny Galladay in free agency. They are limited on the wide receiver front. And it wouldn't surprise me if Devonta Smith's name is called right now. And Detroit goes three consecutive quarterbacks, 3 consecutive wide receivers, and it would perpetuate the lie. It would perpetuate the lie. Now NFL teams go, oh, we can draft wide receivers in the first round. Well, guess what? Miami, Cincinnati, Detroit, you're not going to be very good. Not going to be very good at all. You all have great quarterbacks, too, by the way. Jared Goff, Tua Tagovailoa, and Joe Joe Burrow are great quarterbacks.
You said Tua's a great quarterback, so you believe.
I shouldn't say great. We don't know yet. We don't know yet about Tua, and we can't go off of what last year, coming off a hip injury and is in the nuance of being a rookie. We can't quite go off it. All right, here we go. Detroit Lions with the 7th overall pick in the 2021 draft select Penei Sewell. Offensive
How about
tackle.
the Lions making the right move? That's unbelievable.
Hey, they had
Look at
Tyrell
today.
Crosby from Oregon a couple years ago, and he's been there since, and he's been great for them. So why not go
Look
with
at that family, man. That's a great photo, video of the
happy.
family going nuts. Off to Detroit, protecting Jared Goff's backside.
That's just a gift
like it.
right there. I can't imagine that Detroit. I know they scout him, of course, but I can't imagine they thought they had a chance at him necessarily, and that fell right in their lap. That's nice.
It is. It's good. Jared Goff's got to be very happy that he's going to have a little more protection and have. We had Eric Scopel on our show today on SiriusXM, and he talked about the experience of covering Penei Sewell early on in his career when he came in as an 18-year-old freshman, and by Mario Cristobal told him a story by like week 2 or 3, you realized that offensive line room was his. The 18-year-old freshman was the leader in that offensive lineman room as a freshman. That's who you're getting. You're getting a guy that demonstrates great character, great fundamentals and skill, and enough to be the first overall offensive lineman taken in this year's NFL draft. Disappointing for some who were looking to get him, and in particular the Los Angeles Chargers and Justin Herbert reuniting with his left tackle from college. But there are plenty of great offensive linemen still left. Rashawn Slater is an opportunity. I think Elijah Vera-Tucker out of USC actually falls to Los Angeles to help protect Justin Herbert at that point. All right. We moved to 8. We're going to go to 10. We're going to go to 10. I think that'll be a good one. That'll get us to the Cowboys.
Fair.
And I can have a few minutes to just to probably meditate and pray a little bit at what Cincinnati and Miami have done to really to humanity in the game of football. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. I will tell you this. If you're Dolphins fans out there, and if you are Cincinnati fans, you guys aren't going to the playoffs next year. I want you to know that. Okay, just so you understand that that's not happening next year. You'll have a chance again to draft an offensive lineman next year, or the right person. Although I did in my mock draft, I did have Miami drafting a wide receiver because I did have the 18th pick where they could get a good offensive lineman if they needed to. I would have done it probably in reverse if I was the general manager. I would have gotten that offensive lineman and taken one of those wide receivers, the plentiful versions of them. You have Rondale Moore, Elijah Moore down the stretch. Devontae Smith's still there. People have talked about him going to the Giants at 11. We'll see what Denver does now, right? We'll see what Denver does right now with their pick. Or sorry, Carolina. Carolina's got the next one. I think they go corner. I think they go Patrick Surtain the second. That's where I think they go.
That'd be a great pick.
That would be a great pick. I agree. Rashawn Slater too. I've had him mocked there. If they don't trade out of this pick, I actually wouldn't be surprised if they trade out of this. It could be New England moving up potentially, but I think Rashawn Slater if they don't trade out.
You think they go O-line here?
Yeah, I do. They had 8 picks last year. Every single one of them was on defense.
Can you believe they gave Teddy Bridgewater $31 million? He wasn't even there a year.
Not even a year.
He got lost for a 6th rounder. 6th round, that's it. Ay.
Yeah.
That was tough.
Benjamin Albright tweeted that the Broncos trading back ... with the eyes emoji.
Makes sense.
It sounds like he's hearing that the Broncos could be trading back.
So they're not looking at a quarterback then, I would imagine.
I don't think they were looking at a quarterback anyway. Not after making the trade with Teddy Bridgewater. And we thought that. We've been thinking that for a while. We thought when we had Benjamin on a while back, he talked about he most likely thought they were going to look for some veteran competition for Drew Lock rather than competition in replacement in a draft pick. And he was right. He was locked in, and he told us that a while back, and we watched it play out in real time yesterday. Teddy Bridgewater heads to Denver never panning out in what I thought was going to be a very opportune time for him with Joe Brady. It didn't click. Sean Payton is a kingmaker is the best way to put it. Taysom Hill and Teddy Bridgewater both getting contracts like crazy in the NFL for being quarterbacks in his system. All right.
It didn't used to take this long in between picks, right?
Hey man, advertising. Just the Taco Bell one.
Well, how much, Jonathan, honestly, the first round, especially the top 10, it definitely will. Yeah. It'll pick up significantly in the back half of this. Tomorrow and then Saturday they go through these super quick.
If we did a live, do you think McAfee is actually, he does the live react. Do you think McAfee's going to do the whole first round live? Do you think they have the willpower to do that?
I think they have the willpower. I don't know if they have the bandwidth.
I've been talking about the draft on TV today for as long as I can imagine, and I'd like to. There's a chance that I just put a cutout copy here and have a auto machine from the Eisen show today just yapping through the whole process.
Can we freeze your screen and just have you there and then continue?
Oh, we could do.
There we go. We can get a freeze right there.
Yeah, I could Photoshop him in, no problem.
Perfect. We get a fat head. We'll get a Ryan Lee fat head. That'd be awesome.
Check out the new Sweat Taylor gear, guys.
No, I'll just Photoshop like this.
Perfect.
That guy looks like he eats Sunfare. That's what that guy looks like he does.
He's ready.
Yeah.
Panthers making moves.
Here we go. The Panthers with their selection with the 8th overall pick in the 2021 NBA. J.C. Horn. Oh, whoa!
Super high.
Solid.
Super high.
Boy,
yeah, dude's a beast, though.
Cowboys are now going, fuck yeah.
Patrick Surtain all day to Cowboys. Right?
So, this is wonderful for the young man out of South Carolina.
Absolutely.
Thought by a lot of people to be the number 2 cornerback in this year's draft. Instead, slides up to the number 1 spot. Maybe the close proximity to being at home in Carolina, having to see him up close and personal. Boy, big physical corner that can get it done. He's special. Carolina now 9 consecutive picks on the defensive side of the football. So as of now, the teams that we talked about and thinking they may move or go back haven't done it. We are now with the Broncos at number 9. Maybe now is the time we see them slide back. Who moves into this spot? Is it the New England Patriots? Is it the Washington football team to go up and grab a quarterback? Or do they stay put knowing they most likely will get a chance at Mac Jones at 15 and Justin Fields at 19? Also, don't draft a running back, people. Just putting that out there. Continue to subscribe.
New England makes sense. Washington makes sense too, though. Chicago, I think, is in the mix maybe as well. I don't think Chicago has the capital or the players, though. But it is uncharacteristic for Bill Belichick to move up. They usually move out, but this is a big opportunity. Justin Fields just disappeared. Mac Jones too.
Could the Broncos pick Devontae Smith?
They grabbed Judy last year.
Yeah.
Sutton's coming back.
They do, of course.
I would think offensive line is a play to protect, especially if they think they're going to go after Aaron Rodgers. I have them taking Rashawn Slater, offensive lineman, Northwestern.
Good pick.
But they could move back. This may be the opportunity to do that, especially if they are looking to make that blockbuster trade for Aaron Rodgers, which before the show we got some messaging from people. It seems to have subsided a little bit, and doesn't seem to have the same overarching exclamation points right now. But it's something that still could be in play. We'll see.
It's been a very interesting.
How would you feel about them going quarterback here, though, with bringing in Teddy and they have Drew Lock? Do you think it's overkill to bring in Fields or Mac Jones?
It would be a complete wasted pick, in my opinion, unless they think it's going to be the player that changes everything for him. But neither of the two quarterbacks that are left, in my eyes, are players that are going to be game changers. Don't forget, Patrick Mahomes was drafted 10th overall, I believe, right? 12th, 10th or 12th?
10.
So, yeah, 10. Let's see here. Joe Smash, you liked my the please no part when Cincinnati took Jamar Chase. I like that.
The plead.
Please no. My humanity has been destroyed by the Bengals once again.
This is going to be a narrative for a while. I mean, you have a solid couple of weeks of post-draft coverage coming up, Ryan. You got to get ready to ride this narrative out.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
I'm going on vacation.
Okay, Ryan, we're gonna lose you after we're gonna be off after pick 10. So I want to get a couple picks from you really quick. Chargers and Buccaneers.
Chargers, Elijah Vera Tucker at 13 from USC. I have the Bucks trading out of their spot at 32 with the Falcons and taking Davis Mills at quarterback from Stanford.
Nice.
So we'll see how that plays out. They could get the receiver. They could get the once in a generation player in Kyle Pitts at the 4th spot and get a first round talent in Davis Mills at the 32 spot, plus the 5th-year option available to them with him, who could be the replacement for Matt Ryan after a couple of years in Arthur Smith's offense. He'll be 38 in a couple of years after the end of his contract goes on. So I like that. You know, that's what I would do. Now, do they have the ability to do that? Their cap situation is an absolute mess. That's why Julio Jones's name got brought up this year. And actually, there are teams out there that if they were to make that trade, the numbers on Julio's side of his contract to wherever they're going aren't that overly big. I think the last 2 years are around $11 million each season. So it's not a huge factor for the likes of some other team. What it is a factor for is when you have an owner and a general manager in Thomas Dimitroff, who's no longer there, who signed players for Atlanta to contracts to be forever Falcons. That is a spot where, you know, they're overextended and the cap numbers show it. Oh, you got to love the green room photos of the quarterback that slips, right? Mac Jones sitting in there, similarly to Lamar Jackson, to Aaron Rodgers,
Big Ben.
Well, Big Ben fell to 13, right? That wasn't huge.
Was it? I thought it was farther than that. Maybe not. My bad.
I thought it was 13. It was one of the higher drafts for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They don't normally draft in the teens or below. It was one of those years that it was. So we move on to the 9th pick in the draft, the Denver Broncos, who I have selecting an offensive lineman. May be trading out of that spot here as the pick is in. So that leads me to believe that they are going forward and drafting somebody. I thought there weren't going to be a lot of trades, and I mocked my draft as such, where there wasn't a lot of speculating on movement around teams. They were going to take with what they have because we don't know a ton this year, and the cap number is so small. You thought some teams would back up, stockpile some picks, but I think teams that have done that are the only ones that feel comfortable right now with what they have done. Everybody else is like, hey, we're going to take what we can and make the best of it all. Here we go. Pick number 9 is in. Where is the commissioner? I think it'd be hilarious if he rode out on a horse.
Whoa,
man! I just saw a list of QBs acquired by John Elway. It's rough.
Paxton Lynch, right?
Oh, there's a bunch. Brock Osweiler, and no disrespect to these people as individuals, but Brock Osweiler, Brandon Allen, Trevor
Brock,
Siemian.
Brock. They don't win the Super Bowl in that year without Brock Osweiler.
That is true.
Because Peyton Manning had become more of a liability for the team than anything. In fact, in the Super Bowl, he was.
Oh, that defense definitely carried that season for sure.
Yeah, but the span of which when they pulled out and let Peyton Manning heal, Osweiler was special. He beat the Patriots. He got him through some big games down the stretch, and it really pissed him off when they said, "Hey, you don't get the playoff opportunity now. We're going to give it back to Peyton."
Here we go.
All right, Broncos with the 9th overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft select.
Wow.
The Cowboys are no longer happy.
Patrick Surtain, the second from Alabama. No, they are not. Guess what?
So this, you think?
Guess
Okay.
Guess who goes to Dallas now? Jerry's pissed. He's like, I'm midlife crisis. Another
Smith.
Ferrari. Devontae Smith. Yes.
Yep.
Now, or do you think it's not like Jerry to do this, but do you think because his guy's out, do you think that maybe the Patriots move up now to get Fields? We haven't had a trade yet, and I'm actually kind of surprised in the top 10. But
Cowboys could trade this pick.
They could.
I think
they could feel like
they should.
but they needed a defensive player. They need a corner.
Need help. Offensive line wouldn't be bad for them either. They need a lot of help on defense.
The Devontae Smith highlights are now. Oh no, that's Patrick Surtain. I saw the Alabama uniform. I was like, all right, here they come.
How about Devontae Smith in Dallas, though? Wouldn't that be amazing?
No, it wouldn't be amazing. What are you talking about? They just drafted CeeDee Lamb. They got Amari Rodgers. They got
Amari Cooper.
Ryan
Cooper, sorry.
Randall Cobb.
Ryan, you must not play fantasy football, Ryan.
But I mean, how would it be a helpful fantasy football players either? Because they have to spread it around to so many people. You want one guy catching the touchdowns, right? You don't want 5 guys catching 1 touchdown, do you?
Well, I don't want to go on too many tangents, but that's debatable because Dak Prescott did it just fine with 3 guys last year.
That is debatable?
In that offense,
each one of those receivers has 1 touchdown?
In that offense, with them throwing, 40, 50 times a game last year, Dak Prescott did just fine for all 3 of those guys, plus Zeke Elliott out of the backfield. So I don't think it'd be a problem either. And Michael Gallup will probably be shipped out, or they move Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper's the one that get the capital.
Zeke Elliott wasn't worthwhile to fantasy people last year, was he?
He was trash.
The first
football every week for me.
Hold on.
Trash, right?
Yeah.
Hold on. The first 5 games before Zach got hurt, Zeke was fine. The whole offense was unbelievable. Dak was on pace for like 6,000 yards or something.
I'm not talking about Dak. I'm talking about Zeke.
I know. When Dak was healthy is what I'm saying. Zeke was fine. He got hurt and everything hit the fan.
What do you mean fine?
He was fine, top 5-10 in fantasy for those 5 weeks.
Top 5-10.
Okay. Running back in fantasy football for those 5 weeks, and then he fell off because the Cowboys fell off. But I'm more just busting your balls because it's fun with these Ferrari type players. But it'll be interesting what Dallas does. I do think they should move out.
Well, I mean, it's great fantasy for Dak.
Both these quarterbacks are still on the board here.
It's great fantasy for Dak, but
But
I mean, so you're thinking more of an asset for Dak in his fantasy league, not Devontae Smith as a fantasy guy, because he's not gonna catch a bunch of balls. He's not gonna catch a bunch of touchdowns. So he's not gonna be the fantasy guy. You're talking about it benefiting Dak because he's gonna have another weapon.
Absolutely, and Devontae Smith would immediately be the number 3. But what if they move away from Amari Cooper and get younger? Because Amari Cooper's the one that's got they'd be able to move him. He's still young. He's only 26, I think.
No, he's not going to be able to move him. His contract's too. They signed these. They've got players in contract stuff for Zeke Elliott, Tyron Smith. They got a tough time.
If they actually pick here, what do you think?
I think they should go offensive tackle. Unfortunately, I think they're going. I mean,
Sean Slater?
You know what? They did it a few years back. They didn't go Manziel. They picked Zach Martin as an offensive lineman. Maybe they do the same thing. They don't go with the Ferrari. They go with the minivan, and it helps this football team. I said it. I had them picking J.C. Horn here. They need a corner. They do need that. They need help on defense. Do they go Greg Newsome? Do they go Caleb Farley? Those are a couple guys. I think it's a reach to 10. They probably could drop back with somebody and get that guy later in the draft. Maybe that's something they do. All right. Cowboys trade their pick to the Eagles.
Yep.
Eagles move up.
There's got to be
They're getting a wide receiver. They're
10.
taking Devontae Smith. They're 100% taking
Devontae
Smith.
Yep. They need a wide receiver. They can't miss out on one.
Wait,
They're
aren't they
probably
up
a little
in?
they're up
Oh,
in 12.
and so they had the Cowboys and Giants ahead of them. Okay.
But it
So they
still
both
shows them at 12. So did they not trade that pick?
maybe they don't. Maybe they didn't. We'll see.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They
So
had to.
what if
they had to have swapped it? They had to have. They just haven't changed that yet. Maybe.
I'm watching a different stream than both of you, clearly, just because the way we're talking. And I also still see the number 12 for Philadelphia, 10 and 12.
So do I. So do I. But I mean, they had to have swapped it. They had to have. I don't understand it. Oh, not on the yacht this year for Dallas. That's tough. Tough time for everybody.
Times are tough for Jerry in the pandemic.
Yeah.
Just like the Rams in their Malibu house.
Hey, you got it right. Flaunt it.
Pretty sure Rogers is a house right next door to that, actually. I mean, what if if they draft Justin Fields?
Oh
They're not
God,
going to.
if they draft Justin Fields, it'll just be like, Howie's going to be like, he's going to be like the guy that walks into a crowded bar or audience and just yells grenade. I swear. He wants to blow up everything and make everybody believe he wants to blow up everything. And like, hey, we're going to get rid of the quarterback that was supposed to win it all. And the guy that did win it and was the Super Bowl MVP, we traded him. And we got rid of the head coach that won us the Super Bowl for the first time ever. And we're not going to tell you if Jalen Hurts isn't the guy. We're going to have a competition. And we're going to draft the guy 10th and put more pressure on the young man. And here we go. Let's go. I don't know if that sounds like Howie, but I feel like it does.
Close enough.
All right.
By the way, the Cowboys trade was for the 10th pick. Or sorry, the 10th pick was for their first rounder and their third rounder.
Maybe they just update they'll update when they come up at 12. So with the Cowboys pick at 12 then, is that what you're saying?
Cowboys will pick at 12. Did the Giants take a quarterback? Do they take Jones or Fields?
Giants are at 11, so they're next.
I know.
No.
Do they? Rashawn Slater. Well,
I know
no,
that's
who knows?
I mean, Jones isn't the answer, so yes, I say yes. But
they're not going to.
They're not going to.
They'll get Kellen Mond in the second round.
Take an offensive lineman, protect Jones, because guess what? That guy fumbles a ton. Don't let people get around him.
So Lane Johnson is on his way out. Peters on his way out. Do you think they go Rashawn Slater or Devontae Smith?
They moved up to go Devontae Smith because otherwise the Giants were going to take him. Otherwise the Giants were going to take him at 11. So they feel like they're doing two things. They feel like they're going up and getting a great wide receiver, and they feel like they're doing it ahead of the team that they see in their division and kind of smacking them around in the process. Now,
are you concerned?
They traded within the division, which is we don't see that often, right? Eagles get 10th overall pick, Cowboys get the 12th overall and a 2021 third round pick later on day 2. The pick is in. Fly, Eagles, fly away is what I say.
I like
started with the 6th, moved to the 12th, now up to the 10th.
I'm reading that too.
Not bad chess.
Depends on who you get.
All right, everybody. Thanks for spending the night with us. At least an hour and a half. 10 picks in. Averaging about I don't know.
One pick every
12 minutes.
18 minutes. Yeah.
Who knows? But the boys and I will talk about it and recap tomorrow before round 2 and 3 gets set to go. But we really appreciate you being a part of draft night with us. I've had a long day. I'm going to go get a massage, and I'm going to call it a night.
Enjoy it.
And maybe I've been influenced. Maybe I've been influenced by that marketing, the NFL propaganda, and the Taco Bell commercial, and I might order a Taco Crunch Supreme. I don't know. I don't know what kind of night it's been.
Don't tell Sunfair.
Maybe we'll go to Home Depot. No, you're allowed to cheat. We're allowed to cheat. All right. Here we go. Roger Goodell, in his infinite wisdom, trots Do you think Kings of Leon stayed there to play the introductory music, or is that just the house band?
No, I think it was.
What do you think? What do you think Goodell tells them?
That's what I was about to ask you. Do you think that it's a self-righteous thing? Like, oh, I'm doing a good thing by having a fan, like by introducing myself to a fan. Self-righteous.
She's like, you better give the right one. I'm gonna boo your ass.
Yeah.
With the 10th overall pick, the Eagles select.
Makes sense.
Yep. Yeah.
Devontae Smith, Alabama. So, 3 wide receivers have gone in the top 10. Apparently, my philosophy isn't getting around to the league front offices like they should be. This is a travesty. And there's going to be a reckoning. There's going to be a reckoning, people. Just letting you know. All right. We'll see you tomorrow for the RDL show, 12:30 to 1:30. I will hop on with the boys to talk about the first round of the NFL draft. Thanks for being with us and being a part of us tonight in the reaction show here on Twitter and YouTube. Go to YouTube, subscribe, be a part of it. Grassroots, RDL show. See you tomorrow, boys.